Finland is very proud to co-chair this coalition alongside our partners, Brazil and France. We continue to advance the goals of the coalition both nationally and internationally. We continue to provide also financial support for school meal programs worldwide. I'm pleased to announce our latest concrete commitment. We will be allocating still later this year 5.5 million euros to WFP's school meals program globally, with a special emphasis on African countries, Burundi, Kenya, Liberia, and Zambia, as well as also in Yemen, Syria, and Myanmar. The support will also go to support the School Meals Program Secretariat hosted by the WFP. In our view, the School Meals Coalition has become one of the most successful multilateral initiatives of recent times, and definitely the most significant outcome from the United Nations Food Systems Summit in 2021. It has delivered concrete results on an agenda that we all can agree is important. We have seen impressive progress in many countries. We have seen Rwanda, Benin, and Lesotho increase coverage to reach almost all children. We are inspired, as always, by the national program in Brazil, with its model of buying food from smallholder farmers, and of the efforts of Guatemala and Honduras, to name a few of the success stories. And I'm very happy to see their representatives on a very high level here. I would like to take a moment to acknowledge that Kenya's ambition to reach 10 million children by 2030 is impressive. You have the support of the School Meals Coalition and its partners.
School meals increase school enrollment. It improves school attendance. It creates gender parity and contributes to improved health and nutritional status. This ultimately enhances the ability to focus, engage, and succeed academically. Kenya School Meals, which is accessible to 2.6 million children to date, make a real difference for many of the most vulnerable children and communities in some of the driest parts of the country and the informal settlements in our cities. For many children, the meal in schools is the first and sometimes the only meal of the day. Hence, it's a critical safety net for many families to ensure food security. Indeed, for many girls in Kenya, we have seen that school meals can be a real game changer, which enables them to remain in school, access more opportunities, and have a prospect to lead a more fulfilling and healthy life in the future. Kenya is now taking school meals to a whole new level, making them available to 10 million children by 2030, by implementing our new scale-up plan, which was consolidated with the kind support of the World Food Programme and the Rockefeller Foundation. Your Excellency, for this, our newly launched national chapter of the School Meals Coalition will be the coordinating mechanism to bring both of our different arms of government and our development partners together to align behind Kenya's scale-up plan and to support our government to implement it all together. Today, Your Excellency, Kenya proudly reaffirms its commitment to the Global School Meals Coalition and Kenya's goals, including the scale-up plan for universal coverage to reach many more children and families in Kenya, while ensuring a planet-friendly approach to achieve this.
Hunger remains a significant challenge to the well-being of many, particularly in arid and semi-arid areas, and also in our informal settlements. To address this, we have tripled the budgetary allocation for school feeding and set a clear goal to expand the program's coverage from 2.6 million kids to 10 million children by 2030. Towards this end, we launched an operational plan to scale up the program early this month. We are committed to action and fully determined to succeed. Kenya is also addressing climate change or climate challenges by combining initiatives that promote resilience, including robust support for school meals, provision of local sourcing, and fostering sustainable practices such as clean cooking and the adoption of drought-resistant crops. It has been our long-held aspiration to maximize school enrollment and retention to ensure every child in Kenya has access to education. Recognizing that access to food and nutrition is a significant factor in keeping children in school, Kenya introduced the school meals program as early as 1966, when I was born, just 3 years after our independence. That's how long we have a history with school feeding program. It is the one thing that I insisted that must be in the manifesto of Kenya Kwanza, because we still have too many children out of school, and it is the reason why I specifically asked the governor of Nairobi that we cannot have the capital city of Kenya with too many children out of school, largely because of two things: infrastructure in our schools, and secondly, hunger. And I am very proud of what Nairobi County is doing and what collectively as a government we are doing in this space to keep our children in school and to make sure that to the extent possible, they have a meal. We all know that our children are a blessing to us as parents and to us as a nation and humanity. We can never think about tomorrow without thinking about our children. And therefore, when we sit around a table, when we sit in a meeting like this to discuss our children, it is sacred. And it is the right thing to do. And it's emotional when we are discussing about feeding our children, especially those who would otherwise not have an opportunity to have a meal. In the last 2 years, we've hired 56,000 teachers more. And next January, we are hiring another 20,000 teachers so that every child in our schools have access to a teacher and they can learn. It is also a moment that even as we move into grade 9, we've not only finalized the process of building an extra 11,000 classrooms as government. I've also asked our members of parliament, using their constituency development fund, to also build another 6,000 classrooms so that next year we are ready to make sure that every child that grows to grade 9 have a classroom, they have a teacher, and I am very happy to announce that we have already made all the learning material available. There will be a book, every subject for every learner, to make sure that our transition is complete and our transition is effective. So as we discuss school feeding program, we're discussing the health of our children and we are discussing the education of our children, because as I said, our children are a blessing to us as families, as parents, and as a nation. And as we look after them, we ensure our future. It is the insurance that we have for our future. It is not possible for us to discuss school feeding in isolation. As part of making sure that all our children have access to food, we have scaled up as a government our agricultural intervention to provide and supply more food in Kenya, so that we're not just addressing issues about our children, we are addressing issues about the people of Kenya. It is the reason why we have done three things in our agriculture. Number one, we have gone back to supply subsidized fertilizer to our farmers. And I'm very proud of what the farmers are doing in Kenya. It is the reason why the staple food in the last 2 years has come down by half. What was being sold for 230 shillings is now being sold for 100 shillings. Number two, we are expanding our land under irrigation because we realize that with climate change, a much more predictable food system must be on irrigation. We have 700,000 acres under irrigation at the moment. By 2027, we want to increase that by another 500,000 acres to 1.3 million acres. And by 2032, we want to take it to 1.8 million acres to make sure that we sustainably can feed not just our population, but also our children.
The whole issue of stability, political stability, and democratic regimes and governments that are brought in through the popular vote by the people really matter, because it is political stability that will allow us to have the school children go there and allow us to feed them. So it is on that note that I commend the political climate in Kenya. Very vibrant. But it's all by the book. This is the only place where a presidential election can be nullified, but people go back to the ballot and get out of that hole. This is where our institutions are beginning to show resilience and the ability to consolidate governance in a positive way. We have had very good partnership with the World Food Programme in a number of areas, and we are already in discussion for broadening the scope of that partnership.
Finland is very proud to co-chair this coalition alongside our partners, Brazil and France. We continue to advance the goals of the coalition both nationally and internationally. We continue to provide also financial support for school meal programs worldwide. I'm pleased to announce our latest concrete commitment. We will be allocating still later this year 5.5 million euros to WFP's school meals program globally, with a special emphasis on African countries, Burundi, Kenya, Liberia, and Zambia, as well as also in Yemen, Syria, and Myanmar. The support will also go to support the School Meals Program Secretariat hosted by the WFP. In our view, the School Meals Coalition has become one of the most successful multilateral initiatives of recent times, and definitely the most significant outcome from the United Nations Food Systems Summit in 2021. It has delivered concrete results on an agenda that we all can agree is important. We have seen impressive progress in many countries. We have seen Rwanda, Benin, and Lesotho increase coverage to reach almost all children. We are inspired, as always, by the national program in Brazil, with its model of buying food from smallholder farmers, and of the efforts of Guatemala and Honduras, to name a few of the success stories. And I'm very happy to see their representatives on a very high level here. I would like to take a moment to acknowledge that Kenya's ambition to reach 10 million children by 2030 is impressive. You have the support of the School Meals Coalition and its partners.